Apply all relevant properties of exponents to simplify the following expressions. Enter your answer as a completely simplified fraction without negative exponents. So I have 7y to the negative third. So the instructions are saying, hey, you can't have that. You can't have a negative exponent. We don't like that because you can simplify it. So remember, you make anything a fraction. I'm going to put it over 1. And then I'm going to cross the line, change the sign. So the 7 is actually okay. The 7 is positive, it's fine, no need to mess with it. The problem is the y to the negative thirds, so I'm only moving that part. The base stays the same, it's still y, but we're changing the sign of the exponent to be positive. Now it's a fraction, now there's no negative exponents, that's it. We're happy. So 7 divided by y to the thirds. And our next one, we have a negative 7y to the negative 3. Again, no negative exponents. That's what we're trying to get rid of. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put it over 1. And now the distinction between the first and the second one is these parentheses. That's the difference. So up here, remember, I'm like the 7's fine, the negative 3's not touching it. Well, the parentheses change that whole dynamic. The parentheses mean that that's negative 3 does go with the 7. I would distribute that. So I'm not going to do that yet. First, I'm going to change the sign. So I'm going to bring down both the 7 and the y and change that 3 to a positive. I have to bring everything that 3 is attached to. And then up top, I have this negative. And remember, when we leave anything, there's a 1. And then I still have this 1 on the denominator. It doesn't really matter. I'll just write it for now. And now we're going to simplify. So now I'm going to distribute that 3 now that it's positive. So on the top, I have a negative 1. On the bottom, I have 7 to the third, taking that 3 to the 7. And I have y to the third, I'm taking that 3 to the y. So 7 third power is 343. So negative 1 on the top, 343 y to the third. That's as simplified as we can go. There's no negative exponents. There's a fraction. We did everything we're supposed to do. So negative 1, 343 y to the third. Remember, when your denominator separates, you got to keep it grouped with parentheses. And that negative came in front of the fraction. That's fine. Remember, we can choose where the negative goes. Okay, last one, parentheses 7y to the negative 3. The problem's the negative. I need to make it positive. So cross the line, change the sign. And now the 7 is grouped. Remember, these parentheses matter. It means that that negative 3 goes to both of them. So I'm going to bring down both the 7 and the y and change my sign to a positive 3. There's still a 1 up here, and there's still a 1 down here. The 1 on the denominator doesn't really matter, but the 1 on the top does. That's what makes it a fraction. So now we're going to distribute that 3. So 7 to the thirds, y to the thirds. Well, we just did 7 to the third is 343. And then y to the third. So the only difference between B and C was that this negative was in the front, and it keeps our answer negative. Other than that, that was the exact same problem. I got smarter that time. I grouped my denominator as I typed it. I kept it in parentheses. So notice the difference between B and C. Negative answer, positive answer. These parentheses change a lot.